Hey guys, Tim Jordan here, co-founder of Service Catalyst, and this is lesson 2 in the Next Step Masterclass. Today we are looking at systems and assessing our systems. Um, thank you so much for joining. Um, this lesson is all about systems and understanding what they really are, where they're breaking down, and how you can start to improve them. Let's start with what is a system and define it clearly, because a lot of people think and assume that it's just software. In your business, a system is any repeatable process that produces a result, ideally with minimal owner involvement. And that includes processes, which is the way we do things, either documented or undocumented. We have some, many of our processes in our business are not documented, but it includes the process and then the software, the tools that support or automate those processes. So, really, a system in your business is a process plus the tool that you use to do it, and plus the people, the people that make it go, that actually execute on the system. For example, your sales process might include when someone calls. If we miss a call, they get a call back within 10 minutes. And then if they request a quote, they get a quote within an hour. Maybe that's the process. That's how we do it. And the tool is a CRM or some type of quoting software. It's Jobber, it's House Call Pro. It's, for me at SG Winterton, it's Titwiz. Um, but some type of CRM or quoting software. And then the person that executes the system is administrative or individual, maybe somebody on your technical team that's handling the quoting process, but that would be a system. Process, a tool, and the person that's executing it. When we evaluate our systems, we're asking, do I have a clear process here? Is it working or breaking down? Could it be delegated or improved? Now it's time to talk about mapping your core systems. Most owner operators haven't mapped out their systems. They run their business on kind of instinct memory, kind of reactive, not proactive, or not structured. And the more structure that we can put in place, the easier it is for the rest of your team to execute without your involvement. That is the essence of how you start to buy back your time so that you can work on your business, not in your business, so that you can spend more time with the family, have more flexibility, whatever it is. Hopefully, a little bit all of that, frankly, and I think would be the best goal. But so mapping out your core systems starts with the core areas. We need a lead generation, sales and quoting, scheduling and service execution or delivery or installation, customer excuse me, customer follow-up. Of course, we need hiring and training processes, and then you need an admin and financial processes as well. So first of all, we write them down even if they're messy. And how do those things happen, right? Give them names within your business, and then how do they happen today in your business? And what happens next? The one question that reveals a lot about your system or just your habits is what happens next? Where are the friction points? So yeah, that's the next step. Okay, so now I know what they are currently for sure. Super easy. I mean, mapping out your systems, you sit down and do this. This is a few minutes, is all it is. This is not some big scary task. What happens what happens for you to get leads? How do you generate leads? Okay, great. When a lead comes in, what then happens? How do we turn them into a customer? Great, they're a customer. How do we schedule them, and how do we execute on the service? I mean, it's you know this, so don't let it be a scary thing that gets pushed by the wayside. Take a few minutes and attack it. So what happens next? We identify friction points. Once your systems are mapped out, you can start spotting the friction. Friction is where do things get delayed or slowed down? Where do you, the owner, have to jump in constantly? Where do customers and or team members get frustrated? Those are like, just ask yourself those three questions as you're looking at this map. Be honest with yourself. Put that ownership mindset that we talked about in the last lesson to use here. Um, and these friction points then are your clues. They reveal exactly where to improve. A system doesn't have to be fancy, right? It just needs to be repeatable and effective and achieve the results that you're looking for without you being involved. So you may not need expensive tools or a 20-step checklist. In fact, try not to overly complicate systems and make them thorough, but as simple as possible. I find for my systems for SG Window Tint, I have to insulate from doing that, from having a process for every little thing, from having so many steps in the process. Now, I found that the more steps I put in a process, the more opportunities there are for it not to be done exactly the way that I want. So I'm not saying complicated systems. I'm saying thorough systems that attack the friction points. So think of when we're talking about these systems, think about checklists, templates, 3-step processes saved in Google Docs, right? These are really not overly complex things. I would start with clarity, with the goal of achieving clarity, not perfection. These do not need to be perfect. They need to be in place and then continuously improved, right? Improved over time. So with this lesson is a system health check worksheet. Download it, fill it out. If it takes longer than about 20 minutes, you're doing something wrong. There's a bigger issue. So, but all this is okay, let's map our systems. Let's identify friction points, and then let's give them a red, yellow, green, right? Red being broken or inconsistent, yellow being kind of working but needs some help, and green being running smoothly without your involvement. I'm going to say that again, running smoothly without your involvement. So now I got this stoplight style health check here, and just prioritize fixing the reds. Once the reds are fixed, start working on the yellows. Just one at a time, just improving consistently. This, especially with the advent of or the availability of artificial intelligence, just bullet point out your system and throw it into ChatGPT with your logo and tell it to give you a Google Doc. I mean, that's honestly what it is. Next lesson, we'll dive into SOPs, so we'll get further into that. But don't let this be this is so crucial to you buying back your time. And this is a tripping point for so many of us small service business owners, because it feels daunting, and it's not. Grab the worksheet, get started on it. Yeah. So quick recap: systems are processes, tools, and people. 1 + 1 + 1. Okay. Start by mapping your core systems and asking what happens next by identifying friction and breakdowns, and then do a systems health check with this worksheet and start like one at a time. Lowest hanging fruit, start working on the reds. In the Service Catalyst community, we give you more templates to map these systems fast and just help with this. Systems is probably my favorite thing to work on in a business. So there's a lot. There's a lot of discussion about that and support, and I love to talk to all of you all about that. So if this is interesting to you at all, think about joining the Catalyst community, joining this conversation, having some accountability within the community about. We have a month that focuses all on systems and systems health checks, and just making each other accountable that we are consistently improving our systems within our business. Yeah. So anyway, this concludes lesson 2. In lesson 3, where we are talking about SOPs and really our core processes and how to document them and delegating. So we will see you there.